Hey Crusaders, I'm AJ.
And I'm Julius.
And today Julius and I will be discussing what Days of Future Past means for this Fox X-Men universe. So, Julius, after the events of Days of Future Past, spoilers by the way if you have not seen Days of Future Past or the other several X-Men movies, in this alternate timeline that they created after Wolverine was sent back in time, where do you believe that when Wolverine regained his consciousness, where do you believe that stands in the events of the original movies?
Yeah, I think because you see Jean Grey is there.
Jean Grey's alive.
And you see everyone else in there, Beast, Storm, Cyclops. I think that this is a totally different timeline. I don't think X1 happened, X2. I think what happened is after, you see Wolverine in the ocean with the spikes through him.
Yeah.
I think it's, they got Wolverine. You see Mystique was actually dressed up as Stryker. I think what she did is she helped him, she got him to Xavier, who then later assembled all the rest of the X-Men, and, they at the school, and they're teaching classes.
Cool. So, now, with this completely, separation of, a new timeline, new reality, where would you, they showed Ellen Page and Colossus, or Shadowcat and Colossus together teaching a class.
Yeah.
They showed Rogue and Iceman together. Yeah. Where do you think Magneto is in all this? They showed all these X-Men that are back. They didn't show Nightcrawler or Angel, but they did show, Beast and all them. But where do you think Magneto is?
He has to be, I think he has to be a bad guy. Like you saw at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He definitely is, he was on that path of being a bad guy. But, so do you think, they said with X-Men Apocalypse, that's going to be, is going to be set in the 80s. Do you think, to do it, they said it's going to be mostly the old cast, and part of the...
which old cast?
The old original trilogy cast. They said there's going to be some original X-Men in there, but mostly focusing on the new First Class cast. How do you think they're going to incorporate the old cast in there if it's set in the 80s?
Scott Summers, Cyclops, he was a young teenager in the 70s. Now, with this Fox universe, you have to understand time is relative, okay? Yeah. It's whatever. But he was a young teenager in X-Men Origins Wolverine. So I think in the 80s, he could be a young 20-something-year-old. And that would make perfect sense just because of his age in, Days of Future, or, Origins. So they could have him in there. They could have, a very young Jean Grey. Maybe, I don't know what they've, what Fox has said about Apocalypse, but it could be a new cast, but the same characters.
And you could definitely have Wolverine.
You can always have Wolverine doing the same old, Wolverine. But also, Apocalypse, Age of Apocalypse, is another, time travel, ultimate reality story. So I feel like, again, they could kill off everybody like they did in Days of Future Past and still bring them back, and it would still make cohesive sense.
Yeah, Simon Kinberg, the writer, he said it's going to be a disaster movie.
I feel like, something like that.
Yeah, something. So there's going to be a lot of... It's going to have to be in a different timeline in the 80s, because then if they blow stuff up in the 80s, that would have happened already in the Wolverine, where you saw at the end of, Days of Future Past.
And I think when it comes to superhero time travel, I love to point back to Jeff Johns' Flashpoint. And in that, Flash goes back in time. Spoilers for Flashpoint, kind of. Goes back in time, and because he goes back in time, he ripples all of the DC universe. So everything has changed just a little bit, and when you send Wolverine back in time to change something, that could have happened where it changed everything. But also with Apocalypse and these other realities and, the destruction that could happen, you have a mutant whose powers are altering reality, Scarlet Witch. Now, they had Quicksilver in Days of Future Past, and he was awesome, he did great.
He's going to be in the new one, too, they said.
And they alluded to the fact that Magneto's his real dad. But they did show his younger sister in there.
Yeah.
And she could be Scarlet Witch.
She had red on. So.
Yeah. I mean, she, 10 years later, she could be a young 13-year-old, about to, go through puberty, you know, Scarlet Witch. And Scarlet Witch is not always the most stable character. And I'm not being sexist here, but if you have her, you know, go through different tragic events, and she's also going through puberty, you know, that could be a lot of stress on the body, as well as, like, her mutant powers. And so I think that she could also be the one causing a lot of these problems, or fixing them, or she could be a vital role to this new apocalypse reality. But what do you think about, I mean, after Apocalypse? X-Force, the third standalone Wolverine movie. You know, with the Fantastic Four possible tie-ins. What are your thoughts about where Fox is taking this, even after Apocalypse? And I mean, I know it's kind of early to tell, but where would you think?
I think there were rumors that they're going to film the new Wolverine movie back to back with Apocalypse.
Really?
Which would make sense because Jackman is getting pretty busy, and he doesn't want to, like, you know, have to work out 2 separate times to get bulked up. But I suspect that I think it was rumored that the new Wolverine movie is going to be in 2017. So, you know, Apocalypse 2016, and then that 2017, and then X-Force. I don't know.
You know,
I don't think. Well, I mean, there's going to be Gambit in this, and that's going to be Channing Tatum. And they said there's a possibility of him having his own movie too. So. There's that out there. X-Force, Deadpool being worked on.
Yep, they got Deadpool, and I think also
Deadpool would actually work now because the big thing is like, oh, he was kind of messed up.
They restarted him.
So
and I think they could also bring in his pal from the future, Cable. I think that, I mean, he's the time travel guy. Like, I mean, you got him and Bishop was in this, you know, Days of Future Past, and I think if you get Cable in this, I think that would be really cool. Maybe X-Man, probably not though, but definitely Cable. I would want him to see him in a movie. Maybe see like an older Cable going up against, you know, a younger Scott Summers, and just, you know, that would be really cool. You know, the whole, like, you know, father and son kind of thing going on, and maybe Cable could, like, mentor a young Scott, and just like that. I think that would be really cool. It'd be like just weird timey-wimey cool stuff. But
where do you think this fits in with Fantastic Four, if you even think they're going to combine them?
I have no clue, and I think that's like where we really need to see Apocalypse. But I mean, I think what they could do is do like a Fantastic Four movie, and then the Fantastic Four sequel. I mean, it would be just like a standalone Fantastic Four movie. They might like reference, oh hey, they're mutants. Like when the Fantastic Four first get their powers, they could be like, if they decide to combine these, you know, which they could.
It's iffy if they are.
Yeah, but you know, if they do, what they could have is like the last movie, which is like a combination of the two, would be another Phoenix movie, but it would be like we misunderstood what the Phoenix was, and it's actually this extraterrestrial cosmic force that together these outer space, you know, superheroes. You got the Fantastic Four and the X-Men have to defeat the Phoenix, and the Phoenix could take over several people. Like in Avengers versus X-Men, it takes over several people at the same time, and so that would be really cool to see the Phoenix taking over 5 or 6 people, and then you have these 5 or 6 crazy powerful mutants.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, this is like a timeline of like 5 years from now, so I mean, it's
a lot can happen.
Yeah, but you know, Days of Future Past is making a whole lot of money. It's getting good reception, so X-Men are on the rise, and like this, if you think about it, by the time like 2017 happens with Hugh Jackman being Wolverine, he said like, you know, I want to do these next 2 movies, and then who knows what after that. He's 45.
Yeah, he is.
He's going to be playing at that time Wolverine for 17 years.
That's crazy.
It has to be longer than any other actor.
Well, I think he set the record for the most appearances as the same character.
Yeah,
already.
probably beat Sean Connery for, you know, Bond.
I'm pretty sure he has. He's been in every single X movie. There's 7 of them now. So you got the 3, and then there's 7 of them. So he's
at
played
least 2 more.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's 9 movies. Yeah, he's got Connery beat. I think.
So that's what we think.
Yeah, those are just some of our ideas.
Yeah, the what's going to happen in the X-Men universe in the upcoming years. But what do you think? Make sure you guys leave a comment in the section below, and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Stay ace.